Hello everybody and welcome back to another league racing video. This is IRC again, so that is Indian Racing League, and this is the second round. I will put up the calendar on the screen now so that you can see what the calendar is basically and what you can expect going forward. If you hear any background noises, I'm very sorry. And as you can probably see from the title, going forward in the video, as the video progresses, you will see why that is so. Also, if you want to catch these races live, then the link for my Twitch is in the description as always.
That the whole point?
And the standings on the website haven't been updated yet. So currently what I can tell you, after this round, after round 2 that is, I am still leading the championship with 38 points. However, Mink and Sunny, Stealthy Sunny, are on 25 points each, so they're both basically in second.
If it rains, just pray that you survive.
Or it might be HB if I'm not wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're good in
exactly.
Michael Schumacher looking as bro. What about us?
As you can see, being the race being at China, there is a very good threat of the rain, and I had no rain practice and no rain setup at all. So the only thing that I was fearing here is that to make sure that I do not end up having to plop one from the internet, and that would basically ruin it because I had no practice with it and I wouldn't know what changes to make. So that would have been a big problem here for me personally. And as you can see, loading into the session, it is dry.
Don't rain, yes!
It is dry for both qualifying and race completely. Let's go on our let's skip ahead in the session a bit by a few minutes. As you can see, just making sure the setup is right, messing around a bit with the fuel to make sure I have a little bit extra. And now we're going out for our quali session, and setting the first timed lap for us, a banker lap, as it is sometimes called by a few people. And at this race, I was thinking I might not have enough pace in quali itself. I'm not really a quali guy, so like my one lap pace is just not there. So I was just hoping I would have a good race at least. And as you can see, going very slowly on the quali because the tire wear around China is just so high that you do not really want to be wasting your tires. And starting our hot lap now, we'll be staying on board, coming through the final corner onto the power, turning on the DRS, coming down to start our first timed lap at China, coming into the first corner, braking down to 5th, staying off wide, which we shouldn't be doing, but as it was a banker lap, it was acceptable. Downshifting to second here, sticking as close to the corner as possible, then opening out wide, coming through over here. Try not to go onto the curb, as that curb might spin you. Go onto this curb, and then do not upshift. Go down to second through here, hit the apex and onto the power as early as you can. Just make sure you don't rush that corner, you will easily spin. And coming through here, I should have probably upshifted more, but very understeery corner, those two. This one as well, coming down to thirds, upshifting to fourth, touching the edges of track limits, which I shouldn't be doing considering it's a banker lap, and setting the fastest second sector. These corners very dangerous, too much power or a little bit of a mishap and you can easily spin, especially if you're following another car through here. And down the main straight we go with the DRS open, coming down to the hairpin, braking at 100, taking this corner perfectly. early on the power, try not to go onto the curb. Coming into the final corner, downshift to fourth quite early actually, but it's fine as it is a banker lap, and we set a 34.4, which is quite respectable actually. As you can see, after that we are coming into the pits after that lap, because as you can see, there's 5% wear
Welcome
on
to
my
the
tires.
soft experience.
After one slow lap, hot lap,
I did
and
one lap and I got like 7%, bro. Shit is too much.
yeah, so one slow lap, one hot lap, and one slow in lap.
What?
So it wasn't ideal. So I came in to change the
Okay, I'm gonna go for
tires.
double hot.
So as you can hear, I'm going to go for a
risk my
double
own
hot,
life
and
for a double hot.
so we're
might
starting that
not have
double
enough
hot
time.
lap now, coming into the final corner. Turning on the DRS a little bit late, but that's completely fine. Coming to the first corner, sticking more towards the inside
2 minutes.
of the corner, which helps you gain that little
1
bit
minute
extra.
to
I
keep
didn't do it
approaching.
perfectly, but if you do it perfectly, like stick perfectly to the inside on the first part of that turn one, you can
1
gain
minute 50.
at least, I would say, about 2/10. Taking that curve, that helps us gain some time as well. Into this corner, not braking completely early onto the throttle helps with the launch quite a lot, helps us gain speed, and as you can see over here, upshifting to 7th, which helps you carry more speed because you don't choke out the engine on 6th. Coming here a bit unnecessary, but still almost quite good.
Just
um,
go slowly. Just go slowly.
It's pretty tricky to get those
Bro,
corners
if you cut all
right.
the corners right.
Coming here into this bit, very tricky to get right, because if you get on the power too early you can spin, or if you get on the power too late you can lose a lot of time. As you can see, we're about 9/10 up on our previously set time,
Yellow
almost
flag
about a
coming
second.
into the hairpin.
Um,
Who's the one who
so we'll
decided
see
to spin?
if we can
One of the Aston
get
Martins.
at least a second of improvement, but no, we go to the curb and that makes us lose time. However, braking right at where the game tells us just a little bit early, I guess I could have done it way better. However, we still set a 30-5. That puts us third, and so because I said it's a double hot lap, we're coming again. Here, as you can see, I didn't stay as close to the inside as I could, but however, coming
Just
through
30 seconds.
to the apex, I hit the apex correctly. So that gave me a little bit of time. However, I just didn't nail the exit right. That did give me a lot of time. However, I just couldn't take the mid corner correctly. Here losing time because I didn't take enough curb, and I didn't get onto power as early as I wanted to. Waited till the car went a little more straight, which was the wrong thing to do. Upshifting late, that made me lose a little bit more time. However, as you can see, coming through here, qualifying is over. However, there's yellow flag. Star Max Lord actually spun, and because of that, I was so distracted at the fact that Star Max Lord actually spun, and in case there weren't yellow flags, how would I avoid it? I basically lost a lot of time, and as you would see here, in just about a second.
Okay. Yep, I'm not improving. I'm gonna
Yeah,
back off.
so I decided to just back off and not waste more tire. And as you can see, pay attention to this strategy: soft, medium, medium. This strategy, keep it in your mind till the end, because you will see why this strategy is so
Extension rate.
important for this race particularly. Especially look out for Contented Ming, as he did something that is related to the strategy, which was way better than how we did it. Overall, just a better strategy, but you'll see what I'm talking about as we go on. Let's move on to the start
Hey, you saw that,
of the
You
race.
saw that video I saw on the Xbox.
Now,
No matter
1,
what happens,
2,
do not leave.
3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go. We get a decent start. However, Star Max Lords also gets like a good start. We catch up a little bit on him. He gets pushed off by me, not off the track, however pushed off wide offline, because that makes me go faster while staying online. I'm leaving him just about enough space, however not enough so that he can make a pass on me ahead of Star Max Lord at this point. Our team at Esgoyart is trying to make a move on Stealthy Sunny. You might remember him from the previous episode about a week ago, who gave up on the race win simply because he got 3 seconds. I didn't spin, thankfully, so I got to hold that P1 and I got the race win. As you can see, we're just at this point, Esgoyart and Stealthy Sunny were quite a bit faster than me, so I was just trying to follow them, which I was doing pretty nicely. However, the problem was that around the corners, the slipstream range that I'm in of Esgoyart actually turns into dirty air, and as you can see, Starmax Lord makes a move on us, goes down our inside. Can Starmax Lord make the move on Esgoyart? No, but wait, he has contact with Esgoyart, and that makes him lose a lot of time, puts him off-centered, off the line, which helps us to get past him because we were on the line the whole time. However, that also made us lose time to Esgoyart and Stealthy Sunny, which is not good because at this point they were faster than me, not very significantly, however they were still faster than me, and I wanted to stay within that 1 second range of them. And as you can see, Starmax Lord spins, and
Both the brothers!
I say both the brothers because I thought that Starmax Lord took out contended Mink. However, turns out he didn't. He just slowed him down a bit. And yeah, coming back to the topic, I was just trying to stay with those guys. However, me making a few mistakes plus that happening, I lost a lot of time to Esgoyart and Stealthy Sunny, especially Sunny, because he was blazing in the beginning of the race. As you can see, he already pulled out a 2.5 second gap from me, and I think about a second and a half from Esgoyart, who is still trying his best to catch Sunny. At this point, we make a little bit of a mistake, but it's not quite significant.
Not break.
Say not break, but I just outbroke myself. That is the truth. Again, in the heat of the moment, I say a few things which are not factually correct.
Not going to use
obviously, because you can see it. But it works.
Come on, SG.
I say come on SG because I really want him to pass Sunny, because if he passes Sunny, he's obviously going to battle with Sunny, and when he's battling with Sunny,
Like,
both of
if
them are
you
going to
use,
lose
like,
a lot
just
of
a
time,
little bit, right?
which helps
Use a
me
lot.
because as you can see, Mink, he's
And then-
catching us by a lot. So I just wanted to, you know, put Sunny behind me so that Sunny would be the one fighting Mink with Bobby, so that me and Esgoyart could possibly pull away, because Mink would have to clear 2 cars.
Now I'm starting to think the
then
soft medium is a shit strat.
I say soft medium medium is a shit strategy, which actually isn't. You would see why towards the end of the video, especially for me, considering the title. But as you can see, I'm pulling out from Bobby, but I'm also losing to Esgoyart, so basically going into no man's land.
Ray, I'm trying to, but then
As you can hear me saying I'm trying to, but it's just not possible
trying
with the
to,
pace
but
of Esgoyart and
guys are too
Stealthy
fast,
Sunny. These
Sunny
guys are too
SG.
fast for me. And as you can see, Mink is actually right on Bobby, because all the soft runners right now, well, the softs wear out way too quickly at China, so we were starting to struggle for pace, and medium runs like contended Mink,
Oh my god.
especially this track being
Dirty
Mink's
as shit.
fastest track.
Come on,
He is
you can do it.
literally the best here. He's won a lot of times before, so
Bro,
it was
he's literally
expected
holding
he
Bob
would
is
be
literally
quite
holding up
fast.
Mink like an absolute.
I say Bob is holding up Mink, however Mink just passes Bobby on the straight, which again was pretty crucial for us, because I thought he would be able to fight, as we nearly lose the car,
Oh my god.
but we catch it. However, that mistake makes us lose a bit of time, which promotes Mink, which gives Mink actually
Yes,
a few tenths, which are crucial, because I wanted him to stay out of my DRS range, but then again, as you can see, he's well within it. So he obviously had a big pace advantage compared to me, and the guys ahead as well. But however, the guys ahead, Esgo still trying to go past Sunny. They were having their own little fight. However, they were still pulling away quite a bit. Whereas Ming was charging on to me lap after lap, and it's only 4 laps in. So you can see how much difference it makes after the 1.5 hot laps and
Literally trying my hardest right now.
the first 4 laps. So the softs get worn out quite a bit, and the mediums hold out quite well
That's what he does.
because they have very good pace as well as a lot of durability. Not as much as the hards, but then mediums click on faster than the hards because obviously they are one step softer than the hards.
SG
But as you can see,
you have to
in
make the
this
pass
main
with
straight, Mink has DRS, probably using his ERS as well. I am sitting in the middle of the straight trying to block him, and I just leave him just about enough space. We're going side by side. None of us willing to give up on that position. We're losing time to the leaders because of this. And as you can see, there's no way we can go too wide there. However, Mink just gets a poor exit and we get the DRS. So we use the ERS and now we're going side by side. But that pace advantage is still a big thing, no matter which track you're at. And we are here past Mink, but Mink is not ready to give up on that position. Still fighting me for it, pushes me off a little bit.
Bro, Mink is
Still going side by side. I push off Mink. Because of that, he backs out. However, he just goes down to the left hand side onto the line and is actually going to go faster. We come here through this corner. We are banging wheels. Still nobody ready to give up. I'm still ahead though, however. And as you can see, Mink just decides to back out and not try and pass me because we're just losing time. You can see on the top left the amount of time we've lost to the leaders just because of half a lap of fighting. So Mink thought the better of it and decided to not fight just yet, not try to take that position just yet, because that could give me an advantage as well, because I would get the DRS, so I could possibly fight him back. However, coming onto this main straight, you can see that Mink is actually quite close, well within that very good slipstream range. He's gotten close enough to me, uses DRS, and I decide not to fight him because, well, I just didn't have enough power to fight him. I didn't have the DRS as well. Mink gets past me quite easily, so I just decided to concede, and as you can see, we'll be going ahead a bit. Mink pulls out about a second of a gap, and as you can see, Red Skull, also another medium runner, right behind me. Also gets a pretty good exit. He's actually closer to me than Mink was on the previous lap. And as you can see, I'm using my ARS. I'm trying to defend from Red Skull, but it's just not worth it. Red Skull just flies past. And coming into this corner, Red Skull gives me damage. He is just a very bad breaker. Like, even in the F2 mini season that we had, he couldn't brake properly, and because of the damage I go off quite a bit, losing me even more time. As you can see, Sunny pits as well along with me, but I have to change my wing as well, so I'm going to be losing more time.
So early gave me damage, not to sit and change
Red
wing
Skull
also.
didn't break early, however, he just slows down too much, and that is a threat to everybody because he did the same thing in the mini F2 season, which is again not on tape.
That guy doesn't know how to brake. That's his big problem. Pace he has, but he doesn't know how to
He has the
fucking
pace,
brake.
but he cannot brake. He doesn't know how to brake properly. That is his big problem. However, you can see we come out ahead of AJ in P9, and
mediums feel
mediums
pretty good.
were pretty good at that time. Let's go a lap ahead. Star Max Lord pits from the Red Bull, nearly losing the car again. Star Max Lord goes on to the mediums, I believe. We're past him. Can you get past Bobby? No, Bobby comes out right ahead of us in the hards. However, because our mediums are way fresher in terms of pace, at least, because hards take at least about 4 or 5 laps to really click on and have that pace to match at least the mediums. I mean, of course they can't match the softs. Softs are just ridiculously fast. However, still have the medium, still have the
Sunny
pace to
also
match
bit
the
the
mediums,
same. He's just
or
pretty
at least
3 seconds
a
ahead
bit
of me.
faster than mediums. However, as you can see, we're gaining onto Bobby because Bobby is struggling with those hards, because those hards are really struggling to find grip, and so is Bobby because of it. And we're just closing down on him,
Next corner
hoping
dangerous.
I can pass him. And then if you heard that, I said next corner dangerous mainly because I was in the party with Bobby. We are actually pretty good friends, and I told him next corner is dangerous. Take it cautiously, especially on the hards, because it does become a big problem on the hards, that corner, because you just have very, very little grip, and it's better to not risk it. As you can see, we have DRS and DRS, but we won't be close enough to
It
make
is so hard
a
to
move
catch, bro.
on Bobby, which is not
I wasn't
essentially
close enough.
ideal. However, there's another DRS zone, as you can see right here. Sunny says the fastest lap. As you can see, we use the ERS and DRS, and now we're just gonna fly past Bobby down the inside. Those hards really don't have the pace in the first couple of laps. You can see we're through Bobby, and he tries to get the position back, but he just doesn't have the pace. So let's just move on from this, because nothing really happened after that. I just pulled away from Bobby, and as you can see, S. Goyat still on the hards, and the audio cuts out, and well, the audio comes back. This is mainly because my controller turned off, and this is a big problem on Xbox at least, where if the controller turns off, after you turn it back on, you get the wheel glitch for at least a lap, and that was the big problem. And as you can see, my controller turns off again, so I get wheel glitch for another lap. As you can see, my wheel, the way the movements are not stable at all, mainly because of the glitch, which is not ideal. However, as you can see, because of that, Esgoat and Stealthy Sunny currently net P1 and 2 are just pulling away quite a bit. And then we move on to the next lap, when finally lap 11, when the wheel glitch stopped, and going on to lap 12, they still pulled away a bit, mainly because of the wheel glitch. Let's just move on from this again, because the wheel glitch part was fixed at the end of the lap. As you can see, Esgoat and Charsi pit. Actually, Charsi pits. And goes on to the hards. Red Skull also pits and comes out on hards. That was pretty close. However, still no collisions happened. Luckily, that could have been really bad for him and me, because I might have retired and he would have probably gotten wing damage or side pod damage, which is again not ideal at all.
At this point,
And
Red Skull's tires are way better than
I
mine.
said Red Skull tires are way better than mine because they're fresh. However, after a few laps, my tires will probably wear out quite a bit and will be rendered useless. Well, they won't be rendered useless, but then I would just be very slow. They aren't like the softs where, you know, after a beating of 5 laps they just
I think
retire.
we'll have to
We're
do
coming
like
up with
a
Charsi, Red
last
Skull's
second
teammate
strategy
in
change,
Aston
because
Martin.
Cars are seeming to
And
be faster.
he
Our
goes
mediums
quite
are-
slow. I think he was trying to push me back onto Red Skull. However,
Oh well, then I have to do
didn't
something.
work quite well for him, because again I was just on fresher tires, or at least that my tires had more pace than his hards at this point. So as you can see, I'm within 1.5 tenths of Charsi. Using ERS, I'm already catching him quite a bit. DRS enabled, I go past him like, you know, quite quickly. So I turn off my ERS as well, just to, you know, not use a lot, because it's really hard to get back the ERS very, very quickly. And as you can see, Rahul pits.
Pit.
So I technically undercut him here. However, Rahul will be on fresher tires after this, so I was basically P3 now. However, as you can see, Mink is in the lead of this race. He was about 9 seconds ahead of me, and from Esgoat he was about, I would say, about
Your tires are
5.5
faster than
seconds
his.
ahead of me. Which again is not ideal for me and Esgoat, because Mink undercut Esgoat. So
Not as fast as Mink and
no, I think he overcut him. Yes, he overcut Mink. So he pitted a lap or a few laps later than Esgoat. So he just has fresher tires than Esgoat at this point. So he's just gonna pull away again. This being Mink's track, Like, he's won here plenty of times before, as I mentioned earlier, so he's literally the fastest man here. So he's just pulling away from Esgoyat and myself, and it's just very, very hard to catch him
Might have done a lot of practice.
around this track, especially considering if you don't have a good strategy, you might not end up on the podium at all, which is not ideal
Esgoyat, it's all
per
down
se,
to you,
but
bro.
you get the point.
Best I can do is get like a fastest lap or something.
I'm saying best I can do is get the first lap or something, because Mink,
I'm gonna
the
do
race
that
win
too.
is out of contention. Mink is just too far ahead, and I never considered winning in China, especially considering if Mink doesn't make a mistake.
Green flag.
As you can,
Red Skull.
if Mink doesn't make a mistake and
That
spins
slowed down
or
Chelsea.
gets a time penalty, I realistically had
Slowed
no
down
way of
Chelsea.
catching him.
Oh, Chelsea pit.
So yeah, Charsi pit because he came in a tangle with his
Dead in
teammate, and
Caution. Caution.
coming through
that's
the main straight, you can see yellow flags. Phase fighter retired because he had to leave due to some personal reasons. So he could not continue the race further. Let's skip that. Let's go on to the lap 17, going into 18, and
Doesn't race, I think.
we're quite close to Esgoyat. We're catching up to Esgoyat at least. And here is the problem. I had to make a decision to pit now for either mediums or extend it by another 2 laps to go on to softs. And it had to be a last minute call basically to see which would be faster. And you will see in a second
How?
here what I basically decided.
How would I be behind Rahul?
So we're coming onto the final corner and the same lap. Will I go into the pits? No, I don't. I avoid it, and I've decided to go onto softs instead of the mediums. As you can see, I changed it to softs, and we will be pitting this lap. As you can see, I enter the pits and to go onto the softs, and you will see shortly, very shortly, why this was quite a bad decision in terms of strategy. In a second here. Perfect pit stop. Didn't release on time. However, as you can see, Rahul and HB have already jumped me coming through here. Contra Bobby also, who I passed earlier, jumps me. Again, he hadn't pit. He's still on the same hards. And Red Skull also jumps me. As you can see, AJ Sam is about 23 seconds behind me. He pitted a lap earlier for softs. However, again, as you can see, I
Okay, we've lost the position.
overcut
That's us down
him.
a place.
I didn't want to get stuck behind Red Skull here because you know what happened.
Bro, I'm not gonna stay behind Red Skull, bro. This guy doesn't know how to brake. Again,
Yeah.
he gives me damage.
As soon as I say that, as you can see,
But
he
there's
goes
no-
quite slow. I nearly got damage again. However, coming into this corner, he makes a slight bit of a mistake, goes off wide, which helps me to pass him.
Lol, idiot. What an idiot.
Ignore what I just say there, heat of the moment kind of things. Let's skip over this lap, yes? Yeah, so let's come to the end of this lap. As you can see, I'm catching Contra Bobby quite a bit, especially considering he's on old hards and I'm on new softs. But as you can see, in one lap, you've gotten
Bro, one lap,
6%.
6%.
As I said, at the same time, one lap 6%, and the other guys are about 7%. AJ Sam says the fastest lap is 34.3, rather. As you can see, I'm still catching Bobby by quite a bit, but because of that, I have to use a lot of ERS, and I get purple sector 1, so I'm probably on for a fastest lap at this point. The softs are the fastest tire right now. However, they wear out quite a bit, so this strategy call was very, very risky, perhaps. As you can see, we're still onto Bobby within 1 second of Contra Bobby. Coming again into this corner, I had to also be cautious. As we set the second fastest sector by,
Definitely getting
and we improve on our time
That's the back
through the second sector by 1.3 seconds. Is quite a significant amount of time, especially in racing. And as you can see, with the power of ERS, Bobby tries to break the slipstream, doesn't work. So we're going to use just the DRS and the slipstream to pass Bobby, and we just
Oh my
easily
God, so
fly by Contra
Okay, good
Bobby
work. Great pass.
without having any further difficulties, perhaps.
As long as we don't have like big
So,
collisions, man.
as I said, as long as we don't have a big collision, it was between me and Bobby, we should be pretty fine. And I said the fastest lap of the race. Let's move on to the next lap. And as you can see, the audio cuts out again, which means I got the wheel glitch yet again, which is again not ideal. However, it resolved itself quite quickly. And as you can see, coming into this corner, HB actually makes a bit of a mistake and half spins, I believe. I couldn't exactly see. So as you can see, he's lost about 3 seconds.
Something happened to HB, something happened to HB.
Yes, he's lost about 3.5 seconds,
Something, I think.
or 2.5 to 3 seconds,
No,
which
no.
helps my case because I thought I would be able to catch him coming to the end of this lap.
Impossible to catch
The distance between me and HB stays about the same because HB was starting to push as well, seeing that I was on softs and I was getting closer to him. As you can see, by the end of this lap as well, pretty close to HB. Now we've gained
Catching
over a
HB
second. However, at this point, I had to get at least about a second and a half a lap gain on HB and Rahul to have a chance at least on the podium. However, you will see why that wasn't possible, as we're going to be staying on board for the rest of the laps. As you pay attention to the delta, mainly on the top left hand corner, as we will as you can see how much time we're gaining on HB, and at this point I had to be gaining at least a second and a half on HB. However, again, the softs being softs are fast for about 2 laps, 3 laps, and then after that you can pull them out till at least lap 5 laps is what I mean, and after that they're just gonna end up wearing out to a point where you really cannot push with them. Rather, you would have to consider
Rahul.
pitting again. However, we're still gaining on HB, considering still quite a bit faster than him because he's on the hards, but at this point just not gaining enough. We actually lose about 3/10 coming out of that corner. We gain a little bit back on the straights, but then again it's not enough. So at this point I had given up on the fact that I would be catching Rahul, because Rahul was just having plenty of pace left in those hards, especially considering he pitted quite a bit later than the other guys. He was quite fast. We were gaining on HB, but again, as I said, at this point, considering this lap 26, I would have to gain at least about, I think, 2.5 to 3 seconds a lap, which then again, with these extremely worn out softs, it's just not possible at all. So I was just hoping, at this point to not spin, not, make frequent mistakes, or, not get a time penalty perhaps, so that, I might, that would cause me to lose another position, because 5th again, considering my actual genuine pace on this game is at least about, in IRC, on the Xbox side of things at least, I think I'm about at least top 4 pace. However, it just wasn't coming out now, mainly because even if I was pushing quite a bit,
Not much. I
even
mainly
with
got
DRS, it just wasn't enough to catch HB. Rahul was, again, I just decided that he was just out of this contention, so I was just hoping maybe a P5, maybe if HB makes a mistake then P4, but nothing more than that, unless Rahul again, gets some sort of penalty.
It'll be hard for me to catch HB itself.
Yeah, as I said, as you could tell me, it would be hard for me to catch HB, which again, I wasn't very optimistic about this, because I was within 3 seconds, but at this point it didn't look like he would be getting 3-second time penalty. He just had a solid pace, as you can see, managing to keep that 2.5 to about 2.8 second gap between me and him. But then again, the further we went into this race, the more life we lost from the tires every corner. As you can see, the gap is up to 2.8, where it was about 2.5 on the main straight. This is again not ideal. However, we continue. At this point I was just hoping I won't spin, or HB would spin, or Rahul might as well, make like a mistake or spin himself. But seeing that it was just so far into the race, I didn't think it would be possible at all. Touching again the edge of track limits, which is again not ideal. I shouldn't be doing that, considering the place I am in despite my pace. Again, this is the point of the title of this video. You should always pick the best strategy and not change it last second, because my original strategy was again soft, medium, medium, and the mediums were quite fast, and possibly if I was on the mediums I would possibly be fighting for P3 as we speak. However, coming to the last corner of the last lap, as you can see, the gap is still about 2.5, and it wasn't looking like HB would get a time penalty or make a mistake, because he was going pretty solid. However, coming into this corner, turn 1, you would see in about a second here on the top left of the screen at the delta, HB gets 3 seconds. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So at this point, because it was the last lap, I could not afford to make mistakes. I had to stay within 3 seconds of HB, and as you can see, because these tires were going off more, I was struggling to maintain that gap between me and HB was starting to pull out quite a bit. And if it weren't for the ERS that I had saved, and the last second, I guess I would say adrenaline rush, I wouldn't possibly stay within that 3 seconds. However, as you can see, coming into this corner was probably where I was the slowest at, so I lost a lot of time. And as you can see, when the delta went from 2.4 to 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, so the next two corners I had to make sure. As you can see, my Mink wins the race. However, my tire indicator is on, meaning that I might have a random puncture before the line, because that is when the indicator comes up at about 60%, and then after that you have a very good chance of getting a puncture. Coming into the final corner, will we stay within 3 seconds of HB? We will see as we cross the line, and yes, we do manage to get P4. Isn't ideal, however, still a pretty good race. If you guys would like to see these races live, then check out the link in my description for my Twitch. I do IRC every Thursday at 9 PM IST, and I will catch you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. That was hard, very hard.